Hey everyone, this is The Scary Bathroom, a remodel story presented by Centennial Woods. I'm Jeff, and today we'll be taking a look at this project. I will be sharing a few tips and tricks along the way, but since this wound up being a full-scale renovation, as opposed to a standard accent wall or ceiling installation project, we thought it'd be more fun just to show how things progress from start to finish. Later though, we will be creating new video content, and in those videos, we'll take a more DIY instructional approach, dedicated to specific topics, describing some of the various ways to handle routine situations you'll encounter when working with our reclaimed wood. And we'll break it all down into a step-by-step format. So keep an eye out for those videos in the future, but for now, we hope you enjoy checking out this renovation. So to kick things off, we started with a demo day. This magic sledgehammer I'm holding will pop back up later in the video. Usually I have it on autocomplete mode, and you'll get to see how that works later. But sometimes it's just too much fun to destroy things the old-fashioned way. After all the tile was ripped out and the sinks were removed, we patched the drywall, textured, and painted. Once that was taken care of, we poured some self-leveling concrete on the floor to even things out and fill in a few cracks. We finally found a really great solution for the wainscoting, but I'll get back to that later. One of the first design elements that got worked on was the door. So we took it off the hinges and I cladded it with our interior paneling material. Just like any other installation of our reclaimed wood planks, we needed some construction adhesive and brad nails. This part was super fun, straightforward, and we'll definitely be making an individual step-by-step instructional video dedicated to this specific project in the future. At the start of the renovation, we ordered a stainless steel sink, which I found on Wayfair, and a tracklight style light fixture off of Amazon. While we waited for those to be delivered, I got started on the ceiling installation. Once again, construction and adhesive and brad nails were used for this part, and in case you were wondering, we used our Coty finish on both the door and the ceiling. Our reclaimed wood planks are super light, like 0.3 pounds per foot light. So even if you're a one-man crew, installing our material on a ceiling is definitely doable. However, there is an added level of difficulty when working over your head. So if you've got a friend who's willing to help out, it'll save you a few trips up and down the ladder. Speaking of making things easier, here's a quick tip for making cuts at the end of rows. When you're on your last plank in a row, butt one end up against the wall and overlap the other end with the preceding board in that row. Make your mark where they intersect and cut. This helps speed up the process, and most of the time, the cut piece you just created can be used to start your next row. Oftentimes, during an installation of an accent wall, or ceiling in this case, you'll need to work around outlet covers, light fixtures, and switches. As you can see, we had 3 on our ceiling. Depending on the tools you have, there are several ways to approach this situation, and this is yet another topic that we plan to create a specific step-by-step instructional video for in the future, but it was at this point in the process that I switched the magic hammer from that manual mode to autocomplete, like I had mentioned earlier. The new light fixture took a little bit longer to arrive than I had hoped, so we skipped that section and finished up a couple more rows. On the day it was delivered, I once again recruited some help, and we swapped out the old fixture. At this point in the video, it feels appropriate to give a huge shout out to all my coworkers who chipped in on this renovation. Thanks to them, I was able to avoid electrocuting myself by accident or flooding the bathroom. They also prevented me from catching an ass whooping from anyone else who was sick of having only one bathroom at the mill. So that said, thanks to everyone at Centennial Woods for being so patient while this renovation was underway. After the ceiling was completely covered, we decided to trim both the crown of the ceiling's perimeter and the vertical sections in the corners. In future videos, we'll go into greater detail about our trim, some application ideas, and discuss how to use it in a step-by-step instructional format. On the crown, you can see we used our 3-inch wide naturally weathered trim, and in the corners, we used our 1.5-inch wide version. The nice thing about our trim is that one edge is naturally weathered and the other has a square milled edge. So for this project, we hid the square milled edges by either butting them up against the ceiling or facing them into the corners, and we left the naturally weathered edges facing out. In my opinion, this really helped tie it all together and added to the look that we were after. When it comes to insulation, trim uses the same construction adhesive and brad nails combination as the regular planks, and it's just as easy to work with. Once the trim was up, our sink arrived and got installed. I built a box with some spare shiplap, which doubled as a small counter space and covering for some exposed piping to the right of the sink. With a few more pieces of shiplap and some plywood, I built a box around the sink itself. Remember that wainscoting I mentioned earlier? You can see it here on the sink cover. The great thing about this corrugated metal is that we got it through a trade. In exchange for transporting some building materials, a friend of ours who's a contractor in the area hooked us up with this super cool corrugated metal roofing. You can see it was super weathered, presented a range of really neat gray and orange rust tones, and looked awesome up against our 1x6 material that I used as trim around the sink cover. We used the same combination of corrugated metal siding and 1x6 around the rest of the bathroom, so I figured this was just another opportunity to tie the look together. With a bit of customization, of course. The final step in this renovation was pouring an epoxy finish on the floor, which we picked up at Ace Hardware. This was a high gloss mixture, which I really liked, but also wanted to make a bit darker, so we added some gray tint to it. Rolling on the epoxy was super easy, and after that, the only thing that was left to do was wait for it to dry. And the renovation was done. Okay, big reveal time. When it came to the look, I was shooting for a mixture between clean and rustic. So to accomplish the former, we used a bright white paint, high gloss epoxy flooring, stainless steel, and a more modern style track light. On the flip side, I think the corrugated metal we acquired mixed with our reclaimed wood elements created the perfect blend. In terms of function, the underlying goal there was to create a bathroom that could easily handle daily traffic of the 30+ employees we have at our mill, and be tough enough to withstand heavy-duty use in an industrial setting. This is all just to say that while elements like the reclaimed wood interior paneling on both the door and ceiling would incorporate well into any design style, we understand a lot of the choices we made here may not be exactly what most people envision for a residential home bathroom. So if you're renovating the bathroom in your garage, shop, or man cave, this video should provide plenty of ideas. And for those of you looking for ideas more in the vein of a residential style project, hang tight and keep an eye out for future content. You can also check out the gallery section of our website where we have a ton of residential interior examples. Alright everyone, this is the end of the video. As I mentioned several times before, we'll be coming out with more content as well as step-by-step instructional videos soon. In the meantime, if you have any questions or want to use our reclaimed wood material on your own project, we're here to help. You can check us out on social media, visit our website, centennialwoods.com, or if you're feeling old-fashioned, go ahead and pick up the phone and give us a ring. Thanks so much for watching.